The album, The Secret of Us, the artist, Gracie Abrams. Thank you so much for having us here.
Oh my God, thank you for having me.
So right off the top, let's go back to Rogers Center, Toronto. You're opening for Taylor Swift. You go up on stage, you're in front of all those people, and you get to perform your music. Take us into that moment. How does it feel? What emotions come through?
I think it's just a real privilege to be on her stage, even if it's for 2 seconds at all. It's such a lucky and rare experience to have, and her audience is so passionate and so supportive. I think if anything that Taylor co-signs, they really back quite immediately. Right. And I've had the honor of experiencing their support over the past year and a half, having started on the Eras tour last year and now being back to close it out this time around. It's the best feeling. It's like real tangible joy, and I think there aren't too many places these days where you feel something that powerful. So I'm very lucky.
I remember you did the speech on night one. Is that something you planned, or did it just come from the heart?
No, I kind of just wing it.
Right. Okay.
But it's like it's very easy to be sincere when you're up there and taking in the power of the world that she has built over the past 18 years. And I think as a real fan, I have no shortage of love to share.
For sure.
Yeah.
Obviously 2024 has been an incredible year, but the album Risk, Close to You, I want to know, when you finish those songs and you finish recording them, you're about to put them into the world, did you realize these ones were going to be special? They'll take you to the next level, or was it just another song?
I think they felt different for sure, just in terms of the writing process, writing them with my best friend and kind of sharing this it was a very specific energy that's not what I typically experience or feel when I'm writing alone.
Right.
When I write with my best friend, there's it feels like something is just always bubbling in a way that results in more, no pun intended, but risk taking. Sure. And kind of being more extroverted. And I think tapping into the sides of my personality that really come alive when I'm with her, versus I think when I write by myself, I'm a little bit more intense, and I think I take myself sometimes too seriously. And so this was a really beautiful kind of lesson in being looser and, keeping lyrics that make us laugh. And, and so, but I mean, zero expectation for the lives that these songs would then have once we release them. I think I have, just endless amounts of shock still as to the life that this album has had since we finished it.
The one track I want to talk about is my personal favorite. That's So True.
Thanks.
That song, there's something about it that's just so different. Now, if I recall, you said that this is a track where you were kind of experimenting in the studio a little bit.
We actually had we'd written the melody for the verse and the hook, and we'd written the hook lyrics far before we actually recorded it, but this song didn't come together till after the standard edition of the album was out. And it wasn't that we were being experimental, it kind of happened really quickly, but we were kind of just being a little bit we were very sarcastic in the process of making, and it was just a laugh the whole time. But we really threw it together, so the fact that it has become kind of the breakthrough song on the album as a whole, especially having been on the deluxe, is a happy surprise.
The best part is the video that went viral. You're performing the song live for the first time. You're like, okay, this is unreleased.
Yeah.
You might know it, you may not. And then you start playing and the crowd starts singing. How did that feel?
It was such a great feeling. I think also that was from one of the in-store shows. And I truly was blown away that they happened to catch on to the lyrics already. And I think it's a real privilege to have that kind of relationship with an audience where they do care about what I care about, and to be like-minded in that way is not only exciting when I'm putting music out, but it's kind of it has made its way into my writing process as well. Anytime I am in the middle of writing something and I feel like, oh, is this a little bit much, or am I oversharing, or, you know, they constantly give their stamp of kind of approval in terms of, you know, revealing to me time and time again that we're all going through the same stuff. And I think that, you know, just comes with growing up together, which we've done over the past few years.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, specifically with That's So True, I remember that moment and was very pleased.
Well, it's amazing too, because the song already hit #1 on Spotify charts, #1 in multiple countries already, and not to mention in Canada, the consumption chart. That's usually a metric that this song is going to be huge as we get into 2025. On top of all of that, a Grammy nomination. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Where were you when you got the news?
I was in New York.
Okay.
I was in New York, yeah. I was on FaceTime with my mom. We were watching the live stream, and I had like truly zero, negative 1,000 expectations for any noms this year at all. So it was, just a really sweet kind of cherry on top to what it has, like the gift of making all of this music. That's what I feel is the most rewarding part. So, you know, any other nod, you know, whether it's from the Recording Academy or, you know, a handful of people who listen to my music, you know, anywhere, that's a privilege.
When you listen to the album, you hear so many different textures, so many different sounds. I'm curious, fascinated. What are you listening to right now? I'm curious.
I feel like as we get into winter, it's like a lot of Adrian Lenker, which is not just a seasonal thing, but I feel like especially kind of hits when it's cold out.
Sure.
What else have I been listening to? I feel like when I'm on the Eras tour, it's like I just hear her songs everywhere in the corners of my mind. What have I been listening to that's like new? Would need to check my Spotify library.
All good.
But yeah, lots of Adrian.
For sure.
Lots of Big Thief, I feel like that. Or then like some old Pine Grove stuff.
Perfect. One more question. 2025.
Yeah.
What's your goal? What's next?
There's so much touring in this next year, and I think I mean, this is honestly just like a personal thing that I've been dealing with on the road this year, is striking more of a balance between making new things while I'm touring. I think like I've been learning from Aaron Desner, who's my collaborator and dear friend, and he and I were in the studio a couple days ago and we were talking about this, because when he's on tour with The National, basically every single day that they have a show, he books a studio in whatever city they're in, which is like, I think maybe a little bit more ambitious than like what I have the capacity for at this very moment. But I want to adopt some of those practices where it's like making more room and space and time for creating the next thing while we're out. So that's my goal, to be, doubly productive.
I love that. Gracie, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. It's lovely to meet you.
Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.